Hello everyone, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk about when to cast a circle, and just in general when to create sacred space, because not everyone casts a circle. So as a beginner, I would say to do it pretty much all the time, and at some point once you hit intermediate to advanced, this is several years of practicing and doing it on a regular, then you might not need it as much because you've probably set up more permanent boundaries at that point. So I will continuously and always reference this book, but in Inner Temple of Witchcraft, he talks about the need to kind of shield and protect yourself, and I think it's even in the Witch's Shield as well. But regardless, he talks about the reasons for this because when you are a new witch and you start to do more and more activity, you kind of become this little blinking beacon of magic. And other practitioners, we would love to say everyone is peace, love, and light, and nobody would want to do harm to anyone else because we're just working on ourselves, but that's not true. There are douchebags out there everywhere, so you gotta be careful. And some of them, they just like to fuck with you. People like to do that in all aspects of life, and that includes the craft, and you're suddenly just becoming this little flashing beacon that they're like, ooh, something new to play with. It's not great, but it does happen. And some people say that it's really rare. I would say it's not that uncommon. I've met a number of witches over the years that's just the type of person they are. So like, it's not uncommon. It's actually quite common. And also just other entities and spirits and things that are out in the world, same deal. They're gonna kind of be like, oh, what are you up to? What are you doing? As a beginner, you may or may not be aware of this depending on how psychically aware you are and kind of your background leading into the craft. But on a whole, pretty much anything that you're doing, it's great to create your sacred space and your shields and circle and whatever you do before you do the things. Now, this could be visualizations that you do. This could be a full casting circle. Again, not everyone does that. It tends to be more of a Wiccan thing, but a lot of witchcraft practices include it as well. It could also be just a cleansing of the space. You know, you may end up wanting to cleanse your space with like sage or incense or salt or whatever, kind of clearing out whatever might be lurking around you. There are plenty of books talking about that, but here's just like a quick way to do that. So let's say I am a brand new witch. I've been practicing for like under a year, and I want to sit down and do a daily devotion, and I want to do a card pull today. Now, a more advanced witch would not really feel the need to maybe cast circle or cleanse the space, but again, we're going off the assumption you're less than a year into this. What I would do is ritually prepare yourself however you do that. This doesn't need to be an elaborate thing. I don't even think you need to do like the ritual baths. I'm not huge on that. Showers in my family are not like, ooh, I'm so refreshed and relaxed. It's exhausting as crap. This is a lot of hair to be washing. It takes a minute and it takes a lot of effort, and then I'm just a drenched cat for hours. My fiance, it causes him pain and he's exhausted after it, so I'm never big on like you need to go shower and like cleanse your physical body and do that thing. Not about that life, but if that's your thing, go do that. For me, it might be I'm going to let my, family know like, hey, can you like not bother me for like the next 30 minutes or whatever, and then put your phone on do not disturb. You might want to, make sure your doors are locked, all of that kind of stuff. Go into a space that you're not going to be disturbed. And then that's when I would go in and cleanse the space. So I might burn a specific wood, or I might burn some incense, might do, like a salt and like full moon water or new moon water mix, whatever, and sprinkle that around, might use some herbs. Basically just get the space ready to do whatever I'm going to do. And again, this doesn't need to take long. This can take like 2 minutes or less. If at that point you are familiar with like visualizations that go alongside it, do that as well. Or if you don't have the supplies and you want to just visualize, that works too. At that point, once the space is cleansed, then I would set up my sacred space. Everyone casts circle a little bit differently, but for me, I like to call in the elements and then create like a bubble that I'm going to be inside of. And of course you would want to include whatever space you're working and whatever tools you would need. So I would set it around my altar and wherever I would be sitting in front of my altar, and make sure I have all of my supplies there. And then I would do the thing. So I would call on my deities, I would do my reading, whatever, and then I would close up shop just like you normally do, close down circle, release the energies and whatnot. And if I had sprinkled herbs around, I might clean that up, but to be honest, usually I do that once a week. And so it doesn't need to be terribly complicated to do, but as a beginner, I always used to practice having a circle. It's good just to practice it in general to get used to it. get your verbiage down of what's going to work for you, or if you're in a tradition, to learn the exact phrases that they want you to use. And it's great to practice the visualization muscles and things that you need. And so I used to do it all the time. Anytime I would light my candles, give an offering, do a meditation, anything that I was doing, I was in my circle. And then progressively I kind of started leaning away from it over the years, and once I had established spaces that were protected and charged, and I had crystal grids, and I had herbs, and I had visualizations, and all of these things that were continuously going all the time, and there are specific things and requirements for them, and that is a little more advanced, I would say, than like the beginner level. Like once it's a continuous thing and you just kind of inspect your shields and whatnot and just do little patchwork until either like the summer solstice or whenever you feel is the prime time to be doing your protective shielding. And at that point then you would recharge and renew those. And then of course, as I've gotten even more advanced and now I have a full room dedicated just pretty much to the craft at this point, because I usually end up writing upstairs, so it's just the craft. It is our craft room, just with a capital C. Because I do so much magic in here, I don't feel the need to really cast a circle often anymore, because I am doing magical work every day. Every single day in here I'm doing something. Doing a spell, doing a reading, doing my daily divine dialogue. I have various spells going on at all times. So this is a very magical space, so I don't feel like it's a problem. Other people might. Again, when I had my altar as a little tiny spot in my bedroom, that was different because it had multiple different energies going on all of the time. But now that I have a room just dedicated to the craft, it's not as big of a deal. So anyways, that is going to be it for this video. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. When did you move away from creating sacred space and casting a circle, or do you still do it every time? Let me know. Do make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I post every single day, and I do have a Patreon if you want to support me over there, patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.